look, it's me, Tacosity, back with another tier list video. Holy crap. I was thinking, all right, I did 1v1s, I did 2v2s. I might do a free-for-all, but I doubt it because, I mean, who actually plays that consistently, right? There's not even ranking for it, I don't think. Let's do characters from easiest to hardest. It's quite a helpful tier list to new players, at least. Mind you, each character in this game has an incredible skill ceiling, all right? They have different floors. You know, most characters, you can pick them up just fine, but the difficulties definitely varied. But the skill ceiling, like how good you can get at characters, is very high up there for all of them. Some of them have higher skill ceilings than others, but a Shaggy isn't going to look the same from a day one person to a person who's put 10 hours in. They're gonna look vastly different. Let's just hop right into it, and before we do that though, if you could leave a like, I would really appreciate that. I'm still a very small channel, helps me out a lot. I love you. Arya Stark. Arya Stark is definitely one of the harder characters in this game. She doesn't have a projectile to spam. She is a sword fighter, which enables her to do some, you know, wonky crap with the disjointed hitboxes as per any other sword fighter in a platforming game. Platform fighter, yikes. But she's definitely up there in the difficulty. You can't just pick her up and be super effective with her. You can probably do decent, but she definitely has some things like her face steal mechanic that you have to get used to and learn, as well as combos, and any character with a crap ton of mobility will have a higher skill ceiling because, well, you're moving more, you have more options, therefore there's more stuff there's more decision making. Batman. I'd say Batman is also up there with Arya Stark. Granted, he's easier. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna put him in meh. Just, he's like middle. He's not difficult to grasp, but there's some crazy crap you can do with his batarang, and learning how to effectively use the batarang, and also learning what moves will do kills on people, because his kills aren't that good. Like, he's good combo potential, he's good movement, good dodge, good frame data, good pretty much everything, but he has a hard time actually killing people. Bugs Bunny. I'm gonna put him in hard because Bugs, apparently, a lot of people have a hard time grasping him. And that's going to be pretty consistent with the other mage characters in this game, the other ranged, because you can't just rush in and hit people. Granted, his spam is better than, say, LeBron James, but using his projectiles effectively is awkward. He has very awkward projectiles, but when used effectively, he is a very strong character. Like we were saying with Arya Stark, the options of just what her kit does, Bugs has like 40 more options. He has a bit of a teleport with his digging his hole, but instead of teleporting, you know, in the air, it's in the ground, and he can do it multiple times, and also throw projectiles through there, and also his teammate can do it. He has so much setup involved with his kid, but if you master the setup, he's Pog, man. He is one of the most rewarding characters, just like enjoyment wise, to master. I love Bugs Bunny. Finn is definitely one of the easier characters in the game. Granted, his teleporting and just fast nature does make his skill ceiling pretty high, but just spamming with him is fine. Like, this is definitely one of the easier characters to get into. It's probably the easiest assassin character to play. Finn is very fun and very easy, but is very rewarding if you put the time in. Garnet is meh, just like Batman. You might need a couple games to figure her out, but a lot of her moves are really simple. Using a couple of her other moves though are, you know, take some time getting used to, like the star teleport, and she is kind of slow. So while that makes her more simple, knowing when and when not to punish definitely bumps her up in the difficulty a little bit, at least over Finn. Her super armor does help a lot though. Harley Quinn. I'm gonna put Harley Quinn in hard. Harley is literally just the worst Batman and requires a little bit more setup than Batman. And she's slower. She's just more difficult and honestly less rewarding, at least of right now. Victory wise, she's fun as hell, but she's just literally a worse Batman. Please buff Harley just a little bit. She doesn't need to be insane, just or nerf other characters. I don't know. Probably buff her though. I prefer buffs over nerfs. unless characters are really out of, like, just insane, like Taz was with this tornado. And he wasn't even that bad. It's just the tornado was just wonky and had way too much priority and was way, like, it was out way too long. Jake the dog. I'm gonna put Jake in easy. You can spam with Jake just fine and do well. He's a lot of gimmicks. You can actually deflect projectiles with his down B, or down air, you know, when he turns into a house or a boat or a car. He's very fun. He has a lot of range. He's a little small. He's pretty heavy for how small he is and how much range he covers. He has decent recovery, he has decent battle in the air and on ground. Just a very well-rounded character, to be honest. Rain Dog. I'm gonna put Rain Dog with hard. I'm probably wrong about this, but it does take some time to learn Rain Dog, or yeah, Rain Dog. His projectiles are a little weird. I still don't know how to make his crystal move on his grounded down special. Please let someone in the comments let me know. Also subscribe and maybe follow my Twitch in the description if you haven't already, since you made it this far into the video. Learning when and when not to use his tether and twos is pretty crucial and will take some time to getting used to. That's more of a team thing though than Rain Dog himself, just learning to be better with your teammate. Rain Dog's pretty up there with difficulty. Shaggy. Shaggy's probably the easiest character in the game, to be honest. He's the tutorial character for a reason. He is the very well-rounded, easy starter character. And that's perfectly fine. And he has a decently high skill ceiling too. But picking him up, you can do combos on accident with him. And he has some crazy moves you could spam. He has a lot of value when he charges up too, and it's pretty free. Like, especially in chaotic twos, he's gross. He's gross. That big sandwich, man, oh my god. A good Shaggy who is scary, man. It is scary. Steven Universe. I'm gonna put Steven in the hardest, mainly because I think he's dog. I've seen only glimpses of good Stevens on Twitter and on Twitch and YouTube. I have not once seen a good Steven in my game, whether on my team, me playing him, or versing. His kit is very wonky. He's a support. He places walls. His watermelon Steven is just unreliable, and it's like you really just use it for the healing, honestly, and the extra body to kind of help out and apply some pressure, even though it's so bad. It's so bad. The bubble mechanic is interesting though, and I see a ton of Stevens not even knowing what it does. When you bubble someone, I could be wrong, but I'm like 99% sure you can't even deal damage to them. The bubble is literally just to get them out of the fight so you can 2v1 his teammate for a bit. That's it. I don't think there's anything else. If there is, I'm sorry for being incorrect, but from what I remember, you can't even damage the person in the bubble. Superman. Superman's also really easy. Granted, a good Superman's completely different looking than what a new Superman is. Superman, you can just kind of spam. He has command grabs. He has a ton of super armor. He hits like a truck. His dodge is insanely far for some reason. He can jump really high. He has insane recovery. It's a very safe, very easy first-time character. And if you want to play tank, pick up Superman. He's probably just for you. Also, his laser beam covers like almost the whole ground sometime if you get high enough, and it's just like annoying as crap in twos. Tom and Jerry. Tom and Jerry's definitely one of the hardest characters in the game right now to pick up and learn. He's very rewarding though, like most of the difficult characters, or just every character in general. He has a ton of setup, a ton of gimmicks. You can give your teammate the cheese if Jerry goes on them, which buffs their damage or something. You can deflect projectiles with the tennis racket. You can deflect your dynamite with the tennis racket. You can set traps. Your fishing pole is like a whole mini game on its own in terms of what you can do with it. You can save teammates. You can recover with it. You can kill people with it. You can zone with it. His frying pan's disgusting. Tom and Jerry's just a fantastically made character, but a hard one to get into. Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman is pretty easy. She's the free character for a reason. She's just a solid tank support character who can hold her own pretty well as well. She's honestly not that interesting to me. She can save people with her lasso, and she has a couple of mechanics that make her pretty, unique, I guess, but she's just so uninteresting to me. But she's very easy and very good for beginners. And again, high skill ceiling like every other character in this game. Velma. I'm gonna put Velma in... I'm gonna put her in hard. Being an effective Velma is quite difficult because, that's a load of bullshit. That's a lie. She's meh. She's not that hard. She's okay. You might need a couple games to get into her, but she's so disgusting, dude. I'm gonna put her at the top of that. She's so gross. Oh wait, no, putting her at the bottom makes more sense. Her zone, her utility, just spamming moves on her makes her valuable. You don't need to even use half her kit to win a game. Her police car, like collecting clues and getting the police car is not that hard. And to be fair though, the police car sometimes just kills itself, but that's not really a skill issue. She's just, I would always prefer Velma on my team than any other character, like 99% of the time, regardless of their skill, level. Taz is really easy to play. He's also just kind of dog. Like, he's just kind of bad, though. Pre-patch, you could just spam Tornado and win games on its own. Now you have to actually learn the character, and he's still not that great. In 2s, at least he can chicken people, which is a pretty valuable mechanic. It makes them, I'm pretty sure it makes them lighter. It makes them take more damage, I think, but also just takes them out of the fight for like 10 seconds. Like, they have to run around as a chicken. You don't even need to really chase them and try to kill them. You could just kill their teammate while he's alone because his teammate's a chicken. Question though, also for the comments, if Taz eats the chicken, does it auto kill them? I've never actually seen them get eaten. I feel like it should auto kill the chicken. I mean, you already got 16 stacks of the chicken, and it's gonna be really hard to actually hit that special move on him. So you should be rewarded for it, right? Iron Giant. Iron Giant is expert in game, but he's pretty meh. He's just really big and clunky. He's a fantastically designed character, don't get me wrong. I love the piloting mechanic with his save your friends mode and all that. But all of his moves are just kind of just like hit big area. He's got some combos, but for the most part, he's just a big hulky tank that just hits really hard and covers a vast amount of area. It's not that hard to grasp, not that hard to get into. One of the few things about him is learning when to actually use your armor. You can use your armor to break combos, so do that. And then immediately get them into a combo, because if they're smart, they're just gonna run away from you for like 4 seconds. Like, what are you gonna do? Catch up to them? You're the Iron Giant. LeBron James. I'm gonna put LeBron James on hardest. He is a hard character to pilot and a hard character to make function correctly, at least right now. I haven't figured it out yet myself, so my opinion may change, but as of now, I think LeBron is one of the harder characters in the game. Rick and Morty, they don't exist. I am predicting that Rick will be one of the harder characters because he's a mage, and mages historically in this game have been more harder to grasp because they play very strangely. They require a lot of setup and a lot of planning mid-fight and changing that plan mid-fight. They're very weird, awkward characters, but they work when put into the hands of someone who knows what they're doing with them. Morty, I'm assuming, will be easy because he's a bruiser, and historically, yes, beautiful. Historically, bruisers have been pretty on the easier side in this game, as you can see from Jake, Shaggy, and Batman all being kind of lower. I think Garnet too is a bruiser, right? LeBron though is probably the hardest bruiser right now. That was like a curveball. I think, oh yeah, Taz is a bruiser too, right? Please consider liking and subscribing, maybe checking out my Twitch. Just check everything out in the description. Leave a comment down below if you feel my list is good. Check out my other tier list on my channel. Just go on the channel, they'll be right there, or probably even the recommended. We'll see you tomorrow, and I love you so much.